Hey everyone, greetings from Sydney. Today we are on a thrilling hunt for the most famous dinosaurs in town, Eric and Fostoria. What makes these dinos legendary? Well, they are the only almost fully preserved opalized dinosaur skeletons in existence. Yep, you heard that right, sparkly dino bones. We are heading straight to the Australian Museum to check them out. But of course, on our way to see Eric, we are going to stumble upon all sorts of cool stuff. Take exhibit number 1, for example. Just kidding, but seriously, these giant Gimeya lilies that grow around here never cease to amaze me. Fun fact, the indigenous people used to munch on those young shoots and roots of this plant. They would throw them up and dig in. Talk about a prehistoric snack. Australia is incredibly beautiful country. Even a usual iron looks here unusually beautiful. Look at that banded iron formation. This is the stunning slice of rock which is made of alternating bands of 3 minerals. Red bands of jasper, golden bands of tiger eye, both silicas, and dark bands of iron oxide, hematite and magnetite. They were once iron-rich and silica-rich sediments that settled on an ancient seafloor 2.7 to 2.4 billion years ago. While incredibly beautiful, banded iron formations are also economically important as they provide most of the iron ore mined today. And they also reveal a significant story about Earth's past. Now, what have we got here? These are perfectly shaped almandine garnet crystals which have grown in chlorite schist, a metamorphic rock. This slab comes from the Takaringa near Broken Hill in outback New South Wales. The site is known for its spectacular garnets, having yielded crystals up to 30 centimeters across and up to 5 kg in weight. Well, you can see for yourself, this is the size of my hand, and I have no small hands, I can tell you. Okay, let's keep moving. Up next, we've got a stunning collection of minerals in every shape, color, and texture you can imagine. I've got a fun little challenge for you, my friends. Let's see who can guess the most minerals. As you can see, they are all numbered, so drop your guesses in the comments with the number and what you think it is. Here is a hint. Not all of them are precious or even semi-precious stones, but they are all amazing in their own way. Some look like glittering moss, others like a spaceship, and a few even resemble sea creatures or maybe something straight out of an alien world. So take a good look, marvel at these natural wonders, and get those brains working. Okay, check this out. A little museum of synthetic gemstones. Look at how flawless they all are. Bright, pristine, and burning with fire, especially the opals. But here is the thing. This is usually the biggest red flag when you're out there gem hunting. If you walk into a store and see a bunch of massive rubies, sapphires, emeralds, all lined up like they're in a military parade, especially if they're all the same shade, chances are you are looking at fakes. Keep your gem radar on high alert. Okay friends, let us feast our eyes on this natural masterpiece. This is just a copper sulfide straight out of volcanic rock. The takeaway: nature is the ultimate artist. I mean, wouldn't you want to have a picture like that on your wall in your apartment or house? I definitely would. And here we have a replica of that famous gold nugget discovered by Bernard Otto Holtermann in 1872. This beast weighs a whopping 285 kg. To the right, you will see life-sized casts of other similar finds. The originals, of course, have long since been melted down and put to use. The most fascinating part of this story is that when the Australian gold rush began, people didn't even have to dig. The indigenous Australians didn't consider gold valuable, so in those early years, folks just picked up off the ground. Alright, what do we have here? Well, here, my friends, we have some natural forms of opals. As you can see, we have got pieces of rock with mesmerizing layers of opalescence, and some real showstoppers are these magically beautiful opalized shells, pine cones, and other organic treasures that have been transformed into opal. It's like nature decided to add a touch of sparkle to everyday objects. That's why I love opals so much. They're absolutely unique and no doubt one of the most stunning gems in the world. But enough of staring at the blinks, let's find Eric finally. Hey mate, have you seen Eric? Nope, too bad. The more I learn about who lived in ancient Australia, the happier I am to be living in the 21st century. Check this out. Even kangaroos used to be pretty creepy looking with short faces. Honestly, I think they're way cuter now. Or let's take this example, a giant ancestor of the wombat. Here is a person for scale for you, and now check out this beast. You've got to admit, today's wombats are pure charm compared to this monster. And this is a sad sight. It's just a figure of the now extinct Tasmanian tiger. The last one died in 1936. On the brighter side, the marsupial lion went extinct much earlier, and I, for one, am quite thankful for that. Nothing personal, but life is a lot easier without a neighbor like that around. And here we have some classic kids' toys, a bow and arrow naturally, spinning tops of all sizes and little balls, and of course a toy boomerang in both big and small sizes, perfect for the tiniest tots. And of course, how could we forget the famous T-Rex, America's toothy superstar? Right next to him we have got a true Aussie native though. This herbivorous beauty was discovered in Queensland in a place called Mutaboro, so naturally they named him without much fuss, Mutaborosaurus. Okay, I found another fascinating stand with some awesome Aboriginal artifacts. Here we have got some unique jewelry. Check out these feathered pendants. They were kind of like money, and you had to present them if you were itching to get married. And here is a clapper that was a must-have for sealing peace treaties. The instructions on how to use it aren't included, but let's hope it didn't involve whacking each other in the name of peace. Next up we have got shells worn by chiefs to show off their statues, like a crown but way cooler. And look at this jawbone, which was also used as a form of a currency. I mean, just look at how beautiful it is. Don't you feel an irresistible urge to trade something valuable for such a treasure? And here is the ultimate gift, a tooth from a sea monster. You could trade it for the prettiest girl in the village. Oh, and speaking of sea monsters, here is the creature itself, from which these precious tooths were taken. Next up, we have one of the most impressive chef's headdresses found on the nearby island. This particular one was discovered taken in 1923. And here we have another incredibly intricate mask used in ritual burial dances. I think it's pretty clear this one is a crocodile mask. This was found, you know what I mean, back in the 1870s. And here we have a unique shield inlaid with none other than opals. It likely became a hot trading item because it was actually discovered on the Solomon Islands. Hurrah! We finally got to you, Eric the Plesiosaurus. Look what a beautiful specimen. I can imagine how glad was the miner who has discovered him. Which happened in the year 1987, by the way. The opal miner found him in a small town of Kubapedi, which is known for very interesting and beautiful white and crystal opals. However, for the miner of opal residing in Kubapedi in Australia, there is not a lot to do with the dinosaur that is fossilized, because the opal contact in the fossil has a price of not less than 25,000 maybe. On the other hand, the disorganized yet almost complete fossil of the dinosaur is worth significantly more. So, in a minute after pulling the fossil from the ground, the miner sold this fossil to Sid Londonish, a businessman based in Australia, for something like $125,000. Currently, it would be roughly $230,000 when adjusted for inflation. However, eventually the high expense of fossil preservation as well as reconstruction in the end took their toll. So the Australian-based businessman decided to look for a higher bid for this precious exhibit. There were quite high chances of this fossil becoming portions of earrings, necklaces, charm bracelets all over the globe. However, thankfully, the Australian citizen stepped in, and at the cost of $450,000, Eric successfully remained in Australia, which is great because that's why we're able to come and admire him right here in Australian Museum. Of course, through the glass, it's not the same fascinating as in live performance, but I can tell you that you definitely can see a little bit of white crystal parts on the bones. Of course, it's not like shiny, but that's not the point. Eric is perfect and beautiful the way he is. The unique feature of these dinosaur skeletons is not just the opalescent effect, but also that it is one of very few almost fully preserved ones. In the end, though, I have a little bit of sad news. We did have a chance to look at Eric, but Vastoria, his girlfriend, is being a bit not well today, so she decided not to present herself to the audience. Unfortunately, we'll have to give it a go another day. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching. If you have any more interesting questions or topics you would like to discover, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Have a good one.